It's a first alert weather day as we track a line of potentially damaging thunderstorms moving in from the west. Like we saw on Friday, we'll have to watch for the possibility of severe weather. And if we happen to have any severe storms, we'll be on the air with First Alert Storm Center updates. Be listening to Jacksonville's morning news for First Alert weather and traffic updates throughout your morning rush hour as Chief Meteorologist Mike Burris tracks multiple rounds and waves of rain and thunderstorms regenerating by later on this evening and likely into Wednesday morning as well, before we start to dry out and turn quite hot for the end of the week. Going to be a consequential day for the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars as the Stadium of the Future deal lands before City Council. It's been negotiated for the last several months behind closed doors. Now it goes public, although the first look that we're getting from Action News Jax investigator Ben Becker is a cost split between the city and the Jaguars, a total of $1.25 billion. So you're talking about $650 or so million apiece, and money invested for East Side development, in addition to some other things. We'll continue to piece together the specifics that'll be outlined before City Council this evening. That's planned in the 5 o'clock hour. Deep dive here tomorrow on Jacksonville's Morning News. And Wednesday is the start of these community huddle-up meetings that the Jaguars and city leaders plan to have. The first one's going to be at Mandarin High School, as the next several weeks will be heavily scrutinized by 19 City Council members before ultimately deciding at some point later this summer what the cost sharing will look like in a stadium of the future. Lots to still come your way, including at WOKV.com as we get more of the renderings and the like throughout the day and into the evening hours. The two finalists for Duval County School Superintendent had an exhaustive day in Jacksonville as they met over the course of multiple hours with community leaders and an advisory group and ultimately the public at Everbank Stadium last night. School board members now will have a chance to kind of catch their breaths and go through and reflect on some of the answers that they got from the two candidates who are expected to ultimately end up before the school board by later on next week, Thursday. That's the date that school board members are expected to ultimately decide which one of the two finalists will get the job. We'll obviously be updating along the way, be listening for these and other stories, including a recap of the first day of testimony by former Trump lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen. He's set to be back on the stand in the hush money trial in New York City today for a brutal cross-examination. We do anticipate some fireworks there in New York City. And it looks like the Israel incursion into Rafah is continuing to pick up momentum this morning. We're updating that and other storylines from across the country throughout Jacksonville's Morning News. A couple of chances to win $1,000 in the payroll payout. Listen for the keyword at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Jacksonville's Morning News.